Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. I'm joined by Garth. Garth, out of the FA Cup, straight into it. Out of the FA Cup, I want your first feeling. One word.
2 words, not surprised.
And we're joined by Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, I'm good, Keys. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Is the transfer window that started to bubble up yet? It started to get going?
It's lighting the touch paper, isn't it? You know,
Okay.
It's a slow burn at the moment, but
we'll be asking you a little bit about that later on. But first of all, we have got to talk about the FA Cup, the magic of the FA Cup, which saw the biggest ever FA Cup upset of all time, when the holders, which it completely left my mind that Crystal Palace were the holders, were knocked out by non-league Macclesfield. Now, if this would have happened 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been a big thing because it's still a Premier League team, but it wouldn't have been as big as it is now because they've knocked out the holders. And that, for Macclesfield fans or the Macclesfield team, that must be an absolute dream they're living in right now. We also saw Arsenal go through, not surprisingly, against Championship, bottom of the Championship side, Portsmouth, after an early scare within 2 minutes of going down. And other than that, it was pretty much smooth sailing with the FA Cup. But we've got a couple of more bits to talk about. Chelsea, Liam Rossini in his first game against Charlton Athletic, absolutely demolished them 5-1. It wasn't a 5-1 game necessarily, I would say. First half was not pretty balanced, but pretty edgy. Lovely go by Gerald Hato at the end of the first half. And then, the second half, we'll leave that till a bit later on. But first and foremost, Garth knocked out of the FA Cup by Brighton, 2-0 down the last or going the 85th minute from Benjamin Sesko, who looks like it's on a little bit of goal scoring form at the moment, looking good. But what was your take on the game? How was it?
It was, Man United started well, ish. If Dalot had his head screwed on straight, would have been 1-0 up pretty early doors. But it's the same old with Man United. It just reminded me straight away that maybe it wasn't Ambrum's formation, because obviously Eric Ten Hag played the 4-2-3-1, and it's exactly the same again. Our defence just allows, for about the last 4 years, Man United, it feels like we've got good defenders as well. Any of those defenders goes to another club and they'll look solid. But for some reason, one ball straight through, done, dusted, we're conceded, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Brighton deserved the win. No two ways about it. Man United were poor, lacking a killer edge, lacking discipline on the field, lacking desire, heart, you know what I mean, hunger. Whatever euphemism or cliche you want about why we're so bad, it's there. This club, until it sorts out its rotting core, like I said last week, we're not going to get any success. I feel for Michael Carrick. It looks like he's the man coming in now. By all reports, it looks like it's Michael Carrick. I don't think he gets a song out of this team. I really don't. And then he'll be gone in the summer and we'll get someone else in. And then, 12, 14, 18 months down the line, we'll be having the same conversation on the show about how do we sort out Man United. I don't know. But yeah, back to the game. Brighton deserved the win fully. Danny Welbeck, honestly, I saw someone online make quite a nice joke, which is, has there ever been a player that left Man United and has come back to hurt us so many times? Someone put, Diego Dalot, when going back from loan from AC Milan, which I was like, ouch, that's a bit harsh. It is what it is. The squad is all over the gaffs. Fair play to Brighton. They're definitely the better team. And again, like that team, Brighton's got just so many players that I reckon could go to a bigger club and actually be, not the star man or anything, but be a really useful asset to that team, if you know what I mean. Like Matoma, like they've just got good, solid players, you know what I mean? Not Matoma.
And they seem to have it sounds stupid, they seem to have a new one that really stands out every time. At the moment, Diego Gomez seems to be standing out quite a bit.
Yeah. I honestly didn't realise he come from America.
Another player who I didn't really rate when he was at Leeds, but I rate more when he's at Brighton. He's
Rutter.
Yeah,
he's a good player, mate. Good player. Gruder's a good player as well. The guys who scored the first goal. That's what I mean. They just seem to keep turning them out, don't they, Brighton? Like just solid players. They seem to keep finding and and making into good players, good Premier League players. I'm just picking up their squad now. I forgot they got Pascal Gross back. That actually stunned me when it started. I forgot they had him back in that team. You know what I mean? But yeah, Boss Cagley looks decent enough. I mean, Jason still is Jason, isn't it? Like, I don't know how old he is, but like I used to buy him on Champ back in the day. He was a solid.
That's not the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that is Jason. Yeah. So I thought when I saw him, I was like, it's Jason still. Jesus.
35.
Josh Hinchelwood, I think, can be a solid player for someone. Still needs to work a little bit on his decision making, but a solid player for someone. And then you look at this the other thing. Let's get someone was saying. This wasn't even Brighton's strongest squad. Like you look at their subs bench, they had Van Heck on the bench, or either Brujan was on the bench, Mitoma was on the bench, Lewis Dunk was on the bench. So it just shows that that's how bad Man United are at the moment. It really is. Again, taking nothing away from Brighton, fully deserved the win, solid performance, and if Danny Welbeck doesn't get to go to the World Cup, I think it's outrageous, to be quite honest with you at this point. Unless his form absolutely nosedives by the end of the season, I think he's at the moment third choice for me, behind, weirdly, and everyone knows how bad I think he is, Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
I was thinking that the other day, when he's in goal scoring form, he's got that level of confidence. Sometimes you've got to take a risk on that. If he's injury free and he's in goal scoring form, he's a smart in the box as well, good in the air.
He's slightly different to you. Welbeck's a very similar player to Kane, like nowhere near Kane's level, obviously, but a traditional 9. You know what I mean? Is what I'm trying to say there. Whereas Calvert-Lewin just brings something a little different. Plus, you can play him out wide as well. So at this point in time, they'd be my 3. I know that's not the question that was asked, but yeah, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, and Welbeck is a good take. But yeah, solid from Brighton. Fair play to him, and hopefully they get a good draw in the next round.
Well, the question that everyone is going to be asking is, you sat Tamarin.
Liverpool, in the next round, Liverpool or Barnsley in the next round.
Oh, Liverpool playing Barnsley now.
Does it, Steve? I didn't even realise. Good draw.
We'll go for the draw after this.
Liverpool up, by the way.
Yeah, 1-0 up.
Yeah.
The question that everyone will be asking, Garth, is Ruben Amorim's got the sack. How much difference is that really going to make? How much difference do you actually see that making from now to the end of the season?
None. That's what in fact, I think we're going to be worse. I think we're going to be worse. Like, we've spent 14 months working this team into the 3-4-2-1 that Amorim plays, and now we're back to a back 4. We've got a lopsided squad where we've got like 5 what you'd call first team centre backs with only 2 positions now. You know, like, we don't have fullbacks. Well, we do, I suppose, but Dorgu is more of a wing back than he is, and Dallo is just Dallo. You know what I'm saying? So we've got 4 number 10s. Hello, guess the quiz. We've got 4 number 10s, lack of wingers, you know, like 1 striker. So, listen, Carrick, I feel for him. Hopefully we get a new manager bounce, because obviously we've got a couple of tough games coming. We've got you boys and City the next 2 games, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
So I know you boys,
the players won't really need much motivation to get up for, but it's how they set up.
Please care. That means that would suggest that they've got heart and desire in their chest, and they ain't got none of that, mate. So, they get out of bed for a paycheck. And listen, I've got no problem with that. You know, I mean, it is a job at the end of the day. But don't act, not you. I don't want the players acting like they care. They don't give a damn. You know what I mean? All of the lip service I hear after the game, we're so sorry, this isn't good enough. Yeah, I've heard it for 8 years now, 10 years. You know, I came in our group, was like, mate, you sound down. Make sure the wife hides the pills and stuff. Yeah, like, I'm just jaded. I'm just jaded with this squad. I'm jaded with this team. I'm jaded with Manchester United, the institution. Like, they'll always be my football team. I'll never stop supporting them. But more and more, I'm finding excuses not to watch Manchester United. You know, I've got other things to do in my life at the end of the day. And people are like, oh, that's because they're not winning. It's like, nah, ain't because they're not winning. I've seen this, but like, I've been doing it for 10 years. I've been like this. It's literally that I see no reason to feel hopeful with this football team at the moment. So yeah, until the rotting core is taken out of this club, and that's the Glazers, and until Ineos sort their lives out and do something properly to get this club working, what's the point? I'll just turn on, hope for the best, you know what I mean? Expect the worst.
Oh, Steve, do you think Man United are right in bringing Michael Carrick in? Do you think he's the right person to get him through to the end of the season?
I mean, time will tell, mate, whether he's the right person or not. But I mean, I just don't see what he's going to. I mean, I hope for like people, fans like Garth's sake, that he is the guy. But how many times have we been down this road before? I mean,
Yeah.
is he? How long is he here for? You know, what's he here? Is he here for six months? Is he? See how he does. The end of the season.
Because he was a manager at
Who knows?
Middlesbrough. So is this a
Yeah,
case of if he does well, they're going to offer him the contract?
I really don't know. I mean, you can't go by what anything Ineos says anymore, or what the owners say anymore, or the people like Jason Wilcox and Barada says anymore, because they basically lie, don't they? You know, and yeah, I mean, look, time will tell. I mean, I still don't see why, you know, why they got rid of Amarin. Well, I do know why they got rid of him. It's obviously because he fell out with the board, and you know, and they didn't like it, so they sacked him. But you know, for me, they all should have a pair of balls, because they should have at least let him stay until the end of the season. I mean, surely that would have been the best thing for Manchester United. But it seems that they was more worried about their egos than the club. Because if they was just to sit in an office and just get this sorted out and have a word with Amarin, and you know, let bygones be bygones and see what happens at the end of the season, then that shows you care about the club. Getting rid of him and bringing in Carrick, that shows that you know, if there's anything Manchester United wants to look at, you know, and think they don't give a shit, this is it. This is it. Sacking a manager who's got you to sixth place in the Premier
3 points
League,
off the top four as well.
3 points off the top floor in January.
Yeah.
Because basically someone's put your arse out of gear.
And if you compare it to Maresca, it wasn't
balls,
that
for God's
bad.
sake. What's the matter with you? Hey, mate?
If you compare it to what Maresca said, it wasn't even that bad. Like,
No.
it's for me, that's a pull into the office, have a word and say, look, you can't be doing that. Like, we can have a discussion about this later on, but this is what we don't air this out in public.
Yeah, exactly. Grow up here. You said the words last week. I mean, you know, Jason Wilcox has must have a big ego. And I think that's what it is. And obviously, you know, the guys, you know, below him obviously agree with whatever's gone on, and they want to sack him. But yeah,
did you see his comments, Steve? Sorry to cut you off, mate. Did you see Jason Wilcox? Did you see Jason Wilcox's comments? What he said about how it's hard for him because in his heart he's a coach, so he finds himself meddling sometimes with the team.
No way!
Bring out Kip. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Like a football coach. He said, "Yeah."
No, I mean, like, what's he done?
Yeah.
What has he actually done?
God knows, mate. Yeah. And just quickly on Carrick as well. I mean, just packing up what Steve said, it just shows the lack of ambition for Man United. Look, I love Carrick. You know, he's a Man United legend, but we're talking about a geezer that had one good year at Middlesbrough and then got sacked 2 years later because he couldn't get him out of mid-table in the Championship.
That's
what Man United are.
Like, I know Carrick, and it was like one of the ones where it was like he's a good coach, and they was always hoping that he would get him over the line. They always hoping, and there was just results were never consistent. And as soon as Edwards took over, they results was more consistent. They were pushing into the playoffs and doing really well. I think they were second when he left, and have dropped down again. But yeah,
I mean, you got to blame. I mean, a lot of the. I mean, we spoke about it last week. Garth, I think, alluded to it. A lot of the Man United fans have got to blame because they're getting this. I hate to say it, and they're getting in that DNA where they like, it's not working, sack him. It's not working, sack him. This is what Chelsea do and Tottenham do. You're not working, sack him, and eventually you'll get this DNA where this grinds down to the club from the top. It goes down to your managers, it sinks through to your players, and then it sinks through to your fans, and all of a sudden the pressure's on when you're not doing well, and you're sacking and you're sacking and you're sacking and you're sacking. This doesn't help the players. This don't help them perform. It don't help any sustainability. It doesn't help you grow in the league. It doesn't do nothing. And Man United are in danger of doing that. But with Mamin this year, we was like, yeah, he's getting better. We can see. And I think everybody could see that. You know, people who could, you know, I would say people like us who think we know a little bit, you know, can see that stick with him. You don't sack him in January.
Mm.
And I don't care if you have had a falling out, but it does seem that I've seen a lot of United fans speak, and it's just, oh, it wasn't working. He was doing this, he was doing that. He should have gone anyway. And
No,
like
the
he
thing I
alluded to
can't
last-
take.
he alluded to it last week. He said, you know, he was seeing slight improvements. Slight. Do you know what I mean? And when you finished 16th last year, whatever it was, and you're starting to see improvements, believe me, we've been there, kids. You take that.
Yeah,
You take those
100%.
improvements
100%.
and you stick with it and you get behind them. Okay, there was a lot of Arsenal fans who were like, "Oh, he get him out, he's useless and this and that." But we was right then, and we were right. We're right now.
Yeah, look,
this type of model won't work.
Yeah, well, I was going back and forth with a Man United fan last week after it happened, and they kept on saying about Amorim's got like a 37% win rate in his first full season, and I was going back and forth. I was like, so you mean in the first half of the season, because he got sacked halfway through? Yeah, and he was saying that, well, Arteta's was a 47% win rate. I was like, yeah, but that's till the end of the season. Arsenal in the first half of the season, in that second season, won 3 games up until the 19th of December, yeah, and drawn 2. It was miserable. I am telling you, it was miserable.
And
it was a tough time. But it was after Christmas. They went to Dubai. They came back, and that second half of the season was completely different. Man United were ahead of Arsenal in their progression from where 100%. In their second season. They were already ahead. In Arsenal's second season, they came 8th. Man United was sitting 6th.
Who was that season under?
What? This was the Arsenal's. It was.
Was it Ollie?
Man United was second. Yeah. That was. Yeah, we finished second. Obviously, Mourinho finished second as well. Ollie was all right, but listen, and I got to take some blame as well, because at the end of Mourinho, at the end of Ollie, I was like, it's time. We need better. You know what I mean? I was still in that mindset. Obviously, with Ten Hag, I was sitting. I was like, no, we've just got to stick with until it got to the right at the end, where clearly it was untenable. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, he's got to go. You know what I mean? But I've got a real worry that, and I take the mick out of fans of clubs who do this, you know, and we've got a Man United fan base now. Just to piggyback on what you were saying, Steve, about the Man United fans wanting to sack managers. I'm hearing a lot of, it ain't the Man United way, and I hate it when fan bases do that.
Oh, yeah, mate. David Moyes. About West Ham with that. Tottenham and West Ham. About the way, the so-and-so way.
Yeah.
Who can even remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll see. Well, Man United fans, I mean, that's the other thing. A lot of these Man United fans, I mean, the last time we won the league was, 13 years ago? So I'm sure a lot of them haven't even seen Man United win the league, you know, or a big trophy, like one of the big two, the league or the Champions League. You know, we haven't won the Champions League in nearly 20 years now. So, I'm so jaded. This is what I mean. Like, I'm seeing people in groups I'm in being like, oh, well, do you know what? This is what someone said to me yesterday. And I was like, do you know, I ain't talking to you no more. But I didn't even respond. It's like, at least I had fun yesterday. I'd rather watch us play for the win and lose than be bored and sneak a win. And I was just like, yeah, do you know what? I got no time for that. I got no time for this conversation with anyone. I got no time for that. It's mental to me.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a Tottenham
regular
fan.
Basis
You know, go and watch Tottenham. You know, because that's Tottenham's way of thinking. Oh, we want to play good. We don't care if we lose 4-3, as long as we've got there and been entertained. That's
just a quick side note as well. Amorim beat both Burnley, because we drew 2-2 with Burnley, remember, as well during the week. We beat Amorim this season has already beaten both Burnley and Brighton. I know it doesn't mean anything, you know what I mean, but just throwing it out there, like, yeah, until the board can sort themselves out and until the fans can have patience, and I mean real patience. And like I keep saying, I'm not immune to this criticism either. I was like it, I get it, you know what I mean. We are Man United at the end of the day. Like, more is expected, but until we can let a manager come in, build the squad around his philosophy and stick with that philosophy for the 3 years, that's the top 3 years before you can make a solid judgment like this isn't working. we're going to be nowhere. You know, we might sneak a cheeky UEFA Cup. We might sneak an FA Cup. Like, we'll get Champions League here and there, like into the Champions League. I don't mean winning it, obviously. Listen, it's a cup competition. Exactly, it's not what I want. You get in it, you might win it, maybe. You know, Liverpool did it in their dead period, didn't they? They won a Champions League. You know, I mean, maybe, but if everything goes right. But yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm not smart enough to figure out what to do, to be quite honest with you. But as for Carrick, apparently it's only to the end of the season. And that is it. He's not going to get a contract at the end of it. Man United are looking at permanent options that are coming in. But again, who knows? Like Steve said, Ineos don't know what they're saying half the time. So if Carrick does a Solskjaer, you know, he wins his first 9 games, like gets us back up into the Champions League, of course he'll get the contract. Of course he will. And it'll be a mistake. It'll be an absolute mistake.
It's so hard. We spoke about it again last week. You know, you look at who's out there. Do you know what I mean? And it's Alonso's just come available.
Yeah, well, that's what the fans all of a sudden they're like, oh, Xabi Alonso. Like, oh my God. He ain't helping, you know.
No. I mean, you need someone who's managed. Firstly, you need someone who's managed in. Again, this is only a personal thing. It's only an opinion. Personally, I think you need someone who's managed in the Premier League, who's used to the teams that you play, the way that they play. Someone who's got an eye on what's going on. I mean, I did have a. I mean, you look at who will be available at the end of the season, and again, it's not. Again, I'm going to say a name, but I know it's not ideal. But I'm just thinking to myself, who else is there? And that's Pochettino. I know he ain't everybody's cup of. But he ain't everybody's cup of tea. But he's
Poch. I'm not saying he'd work because we've tried everyone now.
No.
We've tried.
He needs time. He needs time.
That's it. He needs time. We've tried the trophy managers. We've tried the new up-and-coming ones. We've tried the best in Europe at that point in the lesser leagues. I don't know. I mean, a lot of Man United fans are talking about, if you talk to Man United fans, I'm hearing Unai Emery, I ain't feeling it. I'm hearing Eddie Howe, I ain't feeling it. I'm hearing Oliver Glasner, I ain't feeling it. You know, I mean, and plus, I feel for any manager that comes into this now because it's a poison chalice. It's, unless you get lucky or you're that great of a manager, you are so spectacular that you can turn us around, turn this absolute old hulking battleship around in one season. You ain't going to get the time. And Poch, exactly what Keir was just alluding to there, Steve, as much as I'd love him, that is a 3-year project before you're seeing any kind of...
And that's because where my mind is, because that's what I feel personally that I feel Manchester United need, that you need Premiership proven manager, someone who knows the Premier League, someone who would take a 3-year contract, leave him alone. I think, Poch, put him in. But again, will we, it's like when, who was it? It was Tuchel and someone else. I don't know what it is. They didn't want the Man United job because they didn't want to run. They didn't want to
not enough control.
Yeah.
Ain't got enough control.
That's why the other name I'd like, but this is like he'd have to leave his job at the end of the World Cup. But this is again, same as Poch, a 3-year project before you can even start discussing how he's doing. Is Nagelsmann, but that is a proper. He needs time. Same as Poch.
Proper manager.
Yeah. So realistically, if I want someone coming in now who's just going to steady the ship, and I can't, where I'm going with this, it's Gareth Southgate. Like that's it. That's the manager that comes in for me now. And steadies the ship for a year and a half. You know what I mean? Gets in a team that can compete for your Europa League and top 4 positions. Excuse me. Compete for the Europa League and top 4 positions, and knows that he's the short-term option until Man United can do a real super deep dive into the managers around who maybe can come in and take over. But anyone who comes in ain't getting the time they need, pure and simple. You know what I mean? And if they speak out against the board because Jason Wilcox is getting involved with training and telling you what formation to play and telling you what players you can sign, then that's why Tuchel didn't want the job.
What manager is going to stand for that?
That's ridiculous. I just looked up Jason Wilcox's CV. He was an under-18s manager at Man City, head of academy at Manchester City, and then he was director of football at Southampton. So. Yeah, he knows how to coach, but he wasn't a coach at a professional team. He was a coach.
And I'll tell you the sort of managers that will take that, Steve. I'll tell you the ones that will take it: Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Michael Carrick, Darren Fletcher. yes men, and these are legends in my eyes. All three of them are Man United legends. I don't want to speak ill of them, but you saw Ollie. Ollie was twerking for that job. Like he was like, I don't need the money. I don't need the control. I don't need this. I don't need that. Bruv, have some shame. Have some shame. This brother. Listen, I'm a 40-year-old man, so I shouldn't be calling other than my hero. But I remember 99 like it was yesterday. You know what I mean? I've got an alarm clock that wakes me up with "It's Sheringham and Solskjaer as well," like literally. So yeah, but bro, that gives it like, mate. I'm surprised you weren't outside Old Trafford with a sign that literally will manage for food. You know what I mean?
Doing a Peter Odin-Wenge. Rolls up in his car. He's like, they give him the job to Michael Carrick. He's like,
they're crying again. You know what I mean? Like now I'm hearing that. Anyway, like the rumor was that who was it? Just said Wayne Rooney's like, I'll come and help Derek. I'll come and help Michael. Behave yourself, Rooney. Like
boys. It's not.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? But yeah. But listen, this isn't a Man United pity party again.
You said not half hour, 4 minute topic. So,
but just one other thing, I mean, I've seen a lot of just to going away from the manager situation. I mean, I want to ask Garth because I know he watches them every week, sort of like, you know,
from a
analyzes it perfectly, and I pick up every now and then. And I've seen a lot, especially today, and today. How much Benjamin Sesko's getting absolutely ripped to pieces. Now, I've only seen the odd game here and there. He looks like to me he's improving.
He is, mate.
I like the way I watch his movement. I watch the way sometimes he runs into a space and he gets that little header off. He scored a few goals. He's lays the ball off well. Yeah, he makes the odd mistake, but who don't at Man United at the moment? But the absolute outrage over Benjamin Sesko and Amorim bought him and 75. I'm seeing all this and I'm like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. So I was interested in what Garth thought.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I like him. I think he's everything you want in a striker, to be quite honest with you. I think the Man United fans, it just shows the lack of patience again. When he joined, he's getting used to the new league. The style, the system doesn't suit him. He was just getting to form. He'd score. I think he got an assist and then scored in 2 games. So in 3 games, he got a goal contribution. Then he got injured, and it's taken him a while to get back to fitness again. And now he's back. And last 2 games, he scored 3 goals. Listen, I don't see a flaw in his game. But man, listen, he ain't scoring 15 goals in 12 games, is he? So he's shit. He ain't no good.
He scored a lovely brace against Burnley. I don't know what was his goal like against Brighton.
Yeah, it's another good. It's a good
striker.
I'll
tell you what, though, Garth. I tell you what. When I was watching the game yesterday, I mean, how bad was Cunha? I tell you what. I know he. And I know what Garth thought of him when they bought him, but what? I mean, that was.
Yeah. Listen, I'll keep saying this now. I'll keep saying this. Don't buy Wolves players just because they played well at Wolves. That is big fish, small pond situation. Yeah, there's the big fish, small pond situation. They look really good there because they aren't beholden to a system. And if you're really good, like Cunha was at Wolves, you're allowed to get away with what you want. Cunha has 5 shots a game that go nowhere, loses the ball 3 times. You know what? He's Alexis Sanchez without the one bit where he scores every game. You remember that? Like, so there you go. You know, But people know I think of Cunha, and this just proves what all football fans are like now, because obviously no one wants to dig him out because everyone wanted him. I was told he's the best technical footballer in the Premier League by people. So, I guess he's talking about Liverpool, not Palace, because Palace have lost. Guess the quiz.
I guess he was taking the mick. Might be a Brighton fan in there. All right, we'll move away from Garth's misery, which is Man United at the moment. We'll move on to Arsenal. Steve, a little bit of a scare, 3 minutes in against Portsmouth. I don't think anyone felt like it was going to stay that way for long, and it really didn't. But a few good performances that we got to see the other day, and I thought I was quite impressed with Ethan Nwaneri, Moreno. What was your take on the game?
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. It was a good game. I mean, even when Portsmouth scored, I was like, there was no panic there at all.
No.
It was. I think in one of the groups, I think I just thought, "Oops," and laughed because it was that was just how I felt. And I ain't felt like it from a long while, to be honest with you.
What, for a team to score past you think, don't worry, we're scoring in a minute?
Yeah. The last time I felt like that was like invincible. We used to be free. I remember we was 3-0 down at half time once, and I was like having a beer in the foyer, thinking, yeah, we're going to pull this round the second half. and we were anyway. We did, but it was enjoyable, and there was some good performances. Ethan Nwaneri, he looked like, look, I mean, it was Portsmouth, and he probably had a little bit more space than what he would normally get, in a Premier League or a Champions League game. But we've seen him do that before.
Yeah, we've seen him do it.
I've had people call it out, about it's only Portsmouth, but he's done it in Champions League and Premier League, people. So, I just wanted to make that point. And he did well. Martinelli, obviously, standout player.
You should have been playing. You should have been banned. For life. For life.
I see Garth put that in the group, and
I made that
straight away. straight away, I was on Google. I was like, "Would he have got banned anyway if he got a red?"
Banned, yeah.
And I went, "Yeah, Garth, obviously."
Got
on, so I couldn't come back to that.
Shouting, nearly push him off the pitch, nearly push him off the pitch. And I was like,
but it was good, mate.
People are losing their minds over it. It's not even a joke about Conor Bradley. It was a joke at the expense of Martinelli. It's football banter, people. Just relax.
But but Norgard was good.
Prosecution service having a look here, though. You know what I mean?
I'm hanging, mate. Apparently,
mate. I've heard they've opened an investigation. They've got detectives on it, mate. They're scouring that footage. I'm just saying, mate. He might be prison FC before the season's out. That's all I'm saying, mate. You know what I mean?
But he did well. It was good hat-trick, actually, weren't it?
It was lovely couple of headers.
It wasn't like two lovely headers, weren't it?
Really good.
Lovely headers, and we played, and we did well. I don't know what that penalty was about, mate. Don't take no more penalties, will you?
Do you know what? I thought to myself, I didn't feel confident he was stepping up either.
No,
he did get 2 assists, so at least he got the 2 assists.
I'm not knocking his performance. Up and down, but I enjoyed his performance. I like Madueke. The thing is with wingers, like especially wingers like Madueke, they take so many risks. They're going to lose the ball here and there. But you've got to take the rough with the smooth with them. They're entertaining. You just got to know where he's going to put that ball. And by now, strikers should know where he's going to put that ball. Sorry, Steve, carry on.
So I mean, taken away from Martinelli, I was, absolutely sort of lauding right from early on Mikel Mourinho's performance. Outstanding.
Really good. So underrated.
Me always picking the sort of the underdoggy type person, and not making man of the match. The person who scored the 3 goals. That's me. I would have put Mikel Mourinho as man of the match. I thought he was absolutely excellent in that 6. I was quite wondering how he did, but he was excellent. And Eze was a bit quiet again.
We'll talk about that in a sec.
It probably was a game where he could have sort of, not made a name for himself, but he could have showed a bit. He didn't. Jesus was all right. He was okay. I think he made a good pass for the penalty.
He grew into it, I felt.
Yeah, he was okay. He did okay. But it was an all right performance. I thought we looked really good when Odegaard and Havertz come on, and then that's when we started playing our best football. Odegaard looks back to his best. I know that was against Portsmouth, but he's been doing it for the last 4 or 5 games now. Odegaard, he looks a bit like the 2022-2023 Odegaard.
Just needs to get those goals.
Just needs to get a few more goals would be nice. And Kai Havertz, so glad.
He's
a baller, isn't he?
Mate,
is he a baller or what? I love that.
Honestly, there's still people out there that don't like him. There's still
can't
Arsenal fans out there
who
do not like Kai Havertz, and it absolutely baffles me. I think when he comes back in the team, they will change their views on that.
Sorry. To where football fans care, as if they don't like him, now they're never going to like him. You know.
I've seen one.
Especially takes Gorka's his place as well, and all of the pods who've hung their hat on Gorka's.
That's what they're not going to like. The harsh reality that Gyökeres was probably always brought in as an understudy to Kai Havertz. And
what
this
did
is
we
going to be
say?
reality now.
What did we say on the transfer shows when it was on? You know, we was talking about the strikers. You know, I mean, I know I kept bringing up the fact that this, you know, don't think Havertz is sitting on any bench. Arteta would get him into that team, hook by crook, somewhere or other. So either Gyökeres or Sesko was going to be sitting on benches and doing things like that, because that was like, that's why I was so sure that maybe Arteta may change their way of playing, but he obviously isn't. So my first thought was obviously right. Fact that, do you know what I mean? Gyökeres has just been brought in as a join in with the others and bring something different, and that's what he is. And Arsenal fans have got to accept that. That's what he is. He's been brought. Whether you can say that, look, well, you've paid a lot of money for someone who's going to just bring something different. That's what Arteta does. He pays a lot of money, and we'll probably talk about something else when we get to the transfer bit, and it's a similar situation with him. But yeah, Havertz, come on. I mean, it just looks. I just can't wait till he gets back in the side. I mean, it'll be brilliant.
Yeah, I am looking forward to see a much fitter Kai Havertz. I think with Gabriel Jesus, I think you're seeing a player who's come back from a year out, basically, and didn't have too much football before that, after recovering from that previous injury, and you're just going to see dips, peaks and troughs in his performances.
Would you still, though, Kiers, would you still play? Because it's as much as I would, you know, I can appreciate that Gyökeres still isn't, you know, there. I'm still inclined to maybe still playing him against Chelsea Wednesday night. Because the fact that if something ain't broken, why fix it when the other two are just on their way back?
Yeah, look,
with what we know.
I think that's what's stopping players like Jesus. It's definitely what's stopping Havertz from starting, because he can't come straight back in. But I think that's what's stopping Jesus from starting, because we did see him start, was it against Crystal Palace, and he had a good game. So, and he played 60 minutes there, but he hasn't started the game since. And I think they probably realised it might be a bit too soon to be starting him and playing in that 60, because it's not, you can't really start a striker and take him for half time. You've got to be getting that 60 minutes in, really a minimum. So if that's what it calls for, that's what it calls for. But like, I'm just trying to be supportive. Like, yeah, look, we can play Gyökeres, but it's for me, it's getting to that time. Look, we're getting to the business end of the season. We need someone up there that's going to be a bit more of a presence. I do feel for Gyökeres, because I think there's a lot of pressure on him. But, like, yeah, it's tough.
Come on, mate. You want to say?
Okay, I'm not going to.
But let me make it a little easier for you, Kier. If Kai Havertz was fully fit, match fit, does he start?
Yeah, he starts. Yeah,
Havertz starts. Havertz starts. Havertz starts. And it's Jesus.
The only reason he ain't starting is because I'd say Kai Havertz ain't ready for, like you're saying, for 60. He ain't ready for 60.
If Jesus is fit, he starts. He starts.
Really?
Because just the box movement is not enough, and he has to get it. He has. I can't hear people turn around to me and say he's not getting the ball, because we've seen Moreno go in there, he gets the ball. We've seen Jesus go in there, he gets the ball. We've seen Havertz get in there, and he's getting the ball already. Like, there's got to be a certain amount of responsibility the striker is taking upon themselves. It cannot be that he is spoon-fed everything. That's not how it works. I don't think I've ever heard of a striker where it has to be him for every time. It's got to be perfect there. Because when it is put in there and he's not there, then that's a problem for me. If you're saying he's got to get that service, then he has to be there, and he hasn't.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm not going to rip him apart. He still can play a part in this team in helping us win the league, and I still think he could score some important goals. But if you're telling me that he's not receiving the ball, then look, you've got to understand that football works both ways. We've heard stories from Thierry Henry turn around and say Freddie Ljungberg didn't give him the ball. What did Arsene Wenger said? Are you running into positions where Freddie Ljungberg can find you? Because what Perez can do, Freddie can't do. So you've got to move into a position where Freddie can find you. And this is the same here. You've got to be used to who's coming on. Noni. I know that Noni's going to pass that ball to the penalty spot on the edge of the area every time. I know that Saka's going to drill it across the box every time. Rice will do the same. Trossard finds me, but how much have I scored from Trossard putting the ball to my feet? So we've got to see more end product from him from both sides. I've got to see more intelligent movement in the box. I as a football player, know that if I'm going to draw into the defender, I've got to pull away at some point. I can't just hang on to the defender. People keep showing me still shots of Odegaard should have passed there or Sancho should have passed there. When you look at the run, he's just running towards Van Dijk. He's made it very easy. He hasn't moved away from him at all. It's all very one-dimensional, and he's got to learn. And hopefully in training, they're pulling that apart. Because in front of goal, I'm sure he can finish. We know he can hit it hard, and we know he can find the net. But he's got to be more intelligent with his moving. This is the Premier League now. This is the Premier League.
You're not away with it, yeah. Can I just? It's not just his movement either. And I think I touched on this a couple of weeks ago, you boys. His possession retention stats are horrific.
But he's not doing that anymore, Garth, which is even more worrying. He's not even moving into positions to hold up the ball anymore. He's
even if he was, of 33 strikers in the Premier League that have played more than 500 minutes, he ranks 33rd for possession retention. He's lost the ball nearly half. I think it's like 47.5% of the time he receives the ball, he loses it. So it's nearly.
That's why he's not making them run anymore. That's why he's not dropping in anymore.
So he ain't making the movement. And even when he does make the movement, there's a 50% chance he's losing that football. Is it surprising that the players are learning that on your team and being like, do you know what? Like Arteta plays a very possession-based game. Are they thinking, what's the point? You know,
so in the box. It's an
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, do you know what? Having watched him more, actually looking at I mean, I never thought, like I said, I had from day one, I was like, he ain't a Premiership striker. He just isn't a Premier League striker. I think you sell him next year, the year after. I don't think he survives unless he dramatically improves not just goal scoring, but its overall general play as a striker, as Keir's saying. When with Havertz and Jesus both coming back, if they can stay fit, the minutes are gone, and you've got a depreciating asset at 28 next year. Knowing how football works now, I personally wouldn't be stunned for Arsenal to be like, do you know, let's cut our losses. Like, because someone will still give you 45, 50 mil for him. You know what I mean?
I think someone will still give him money because they will think that he couldn't fit into the Arsenal system. Right now, you've got an air of mystery. I'm not saying he won't score goals. I'm not saying he can't score goals. But in the Arsenal system, he needs to adapt. We can. Can you change your team that much to say that this guy is going to get you 20 plus goals if you change your system to revolve around him?
I don't think he's been bought for that, though, Kears. I don't think he's been bought. I agree with what Garth and both of you are saying regarding ball retention and he's got to improve and everything that. I don't think Arteta's bought him to score 20 goals.
No.
I genuinely don't, because I look at the way we play and I look at the way we've set up for the last, I don't know how many games we played this season. 25, 26 games so far this season. He's played 80% of them, 85% of them. We're top of the Premier League and top of the Champions League. So there's something. We're not playing with 10 men every week.
No, we're not.
So he's doing something.
What has he been bought for, though, Steve? Because he isn't just bagging 20 goals. As I just said, ball retention, horrific. Dribbles. Here's another. Like, I know not everyone's statsman, and I'm a statsman. He's got a less than 20% dribble success rate, so he can't dribble with the ball. So he can't run with the ball. He can't run with the ball at his feet. He's got no ball retention. He isn't scoring goals. What is he doing that keeps him at Arsenal?
Well, at the moment, he's got to improve. He's got to improve. But again, you listen to what Arteta says, and you listen to him speak about him, and apparently he's doing what he was doing, and he's basically saying he's happy with what he does, but there's certain things to his game he's got to learn. And
27
though.
though.
I'm pretty sure
you don't learn. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. No, I just say he won't be. We are where we are at the minute with him in the side.
Yeah, no doubt.
So he's doing something. He's not like, we can't say he's been an absolute failure in every game he's been useless, because that's not
I didn't
true.
say that.
So
I didn't say that.
No, I know you're not. I know you haven't. But if you take away the fact that something that I believe anyway, that he's not there to literally go and smash goals in, because we've always said on this show, I've always said on this show, that Arsenal don't need a 30 goal a season goal scorer because of the way we play and because of everyone else is looking to score. Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Madueke, Eze, Odegaard, Rice, Zubimendi likes to pop up. Timber's always in there. You've got the two centre halves. You've got nearly the whole team that probably, when they run out that tunnel at the start of every game, thinks, I might get one today. So that in itself must tell you that's difficult for Gorikis to get 30, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Or get 20. So
I thought you brought him in because you needed a number 9 for those games where it's super tight, it's 1-1, and you needed a striker, because Havertz isn't that. As good as Havertz is, and Jesus isn't this, where it's one chance, one goal. One chance, one goal. That's what Gorikis is.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that if he scores 10 goals like that, or 12 a season, and he does that, then I think that's what he is. I think every Arsenal fan should be happy with that.
Is he doing something like that? One of them. You know what I mean?
He's scored in games where you're winning. He hasn't. I haven't seen him win you a game. Listen. You've got such a good squad that if he like, this is the thing. This is where Arteta earns his money. If you ain't cutting mustard, sorry, mate. You know what I mean? We gave you the chance. Like you said, Steve, he's played 8% of the games this season, and now he's got competition on his heels with Havertz and Jesus getting back to full fitness. So, you know what I mean? It's do or die for him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's any shame for Arsenal, who've got a lot of your transfer decisions right over the last 5 years. In fact, let's say 95% of them have been correct. To be like, do you know what? This one didn't work. Let's cut our losses. Let's get as much money as back we can for them. Yeah, there's no shame in it. It's not a slight on Arteta or your transfer director, whoever it is now, whoever took over from Edu. There's no shame in it. You know what I mean? He had the numbers. It was well worth the punt for 65 mil. Well, in today's market, you know what I mean? Well worth the punt. It ain't working. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's get him over. Let's send him on the season-long loan to Italy. With what is he contributed up to yet? Because he must have, like I said, we're top of the Premier League. We've only lost one game the whole season. One game in 85, 90% games he's played. One game. So as Arteta's done an absolute masterclass in bringing him in to be part of a team. Although he's not scoring, he's contributed to that team winning every week.
Of course he is.
Losing one game. So Arteta could turn around to us and say, if you're saying you're to sell him, why the hell am I going to sell him?
Yeah. Well,
he's played 95% of his games. We've lost one game this season, and he's contributed to the team.
I disagree with both of you, lads. I disagree because you've already said it, Steve. Your goals coming from the rest of the team. Are you winning in spite of Gorikis? The stats don't lie. It shows that he isn't contributing on the pitch enough. It's not like he's got loads of assists. It's not like he's got loads of pre-assists. It's not like he's got big chances created. It's not like he's holding up the ball or anything so that your team can get up the field. I mean, when Arsenal fans say that like he ain't doing this, he ain't doing that, he can't do this, he can't do that, I'd say, I mean, listen, I'm not watching it like you boys, but from the outside looking in, you know, this is one of them ones where it's just, he isn't. I mean, just because you're winning doesn't mean that he's performing to a level that's acceptable.
I think both things can be right. I think he's contributing, but not contributing in terms of, for what I see, to the levels that let's just say Mikel Arteta and Declan Rice are potentially hyping up because there's only one option at the moment. Like I don't like. He's not. What else are they going to say?
How many goals would you
With a
expect him
goalkeeper-
to score this season, Giz? How many goals?
I think if Victor Gyökeres, if his movement was better, yeah, with the skill that he does have in front of goal, he should have, if I'm being nice, at least 5 more goals. At least. From balls that come to the box, movement off the player, at least 5 more. Yeah. Now, if we just go off of what Kai Havertz done in his first season and what Victor Gyökeres is doing, yeah, they're pretty much the same up until now. Yeah. But I saw more from Kai Havertz in that first half of the season than what I'm seeing from Victor Gyökeres. Yeah. So when we was talking about, Kai Havertz is doing this, he draws away his man, his link up play is really good. People were looking at us like, what are you talking about? He's here to score goals. And it's like, no, but there is a really good parts of his game which you can't ignore. And there is some of that with Gyökeres. There is definitely some of that where he is drawing players away, but sometimes it's too easy. Sometimes
he's
it's
not
too
a baller
easy.
like Havertz, is he? He's not.
No,
he's
but he
not
doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be.
Technically gifted. He's not
He's a
technically
big
gifted
lump.
like Jesus.
He's a big boy.
He's not technically. He's a bosher.
He's a battering ram. He's a battering ram. But he's too close to his defenders. And that is intelligent.
I think he'll be better than next season. I think he'll be better next season.
I always thought it would be a case where he'll be better next season. But I'm more concerned about what he's doing this season. And I need to see him move away from those defenders.
The first season, he was the man on everybody's lips, wasn't he, in Europe? He won the, what do you call it?
He went on my lips.
Or whatever.
No, he went on mine.
He won something, didn't he? The most goals scored in
good
Europe.
Ain't he like the 5th highest earner as well? But I know he's on over 200 grand a week.
He's on a lot. He's up there, mate. Yeah, he's up there. He's not as much as Havertz.
I know that, Steve, we have this conversation a lot of us. I know that it is very much in your DNA not to say anything bad about Arsenal players. He ain't performing. He is not performing to a level at all. The moment Havertz is back to full fitness, he's on the bench. And now you've got a 65 minute.
No, I will.
£65 million asset on 210 grand a week, just doing nothing.
Yeah.
You have to.
I don't disagree with you. He's got to get better.
You have to move him on.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you.
Where do you think he needs to get better, Steve?
But I'm also not as naive, right, to think that he's played 95% of the games. We've lost one game. We're top of both of Europe and the Premier League. I'm not that naive. He's doing something.
Last season, he has not improved the team.
But he goes back. He's improved. The players that were poorer in them areas of the pitch have upped their game, mate. Believe me, they've upped their game.
Where do you think he needs to improve, Steve?
Jesus looks better, and I guarantee you, Havertz look better. And all these little things, little cogs. Arteta, he's a clever man, Arteta. A very clever man. You know, he hasn't brought him in to score 30 goals. I'm not dissing him. I'm not saying he ain't gonna. I think this season's gonna be hard for him. This is the way I'm seeing it. I think this season will be hard for him. Right? He's coming to a new league. He's playing in a team that whatever people were probably up there with the top 3 teams in world football at the moment, right? And he's come from Sporting Lisbon, where he was the main guy, the main focal point, and now he's here and he's in a team where he's not the main focal point. He's just another player. And if you're just another player playing for Arsenal, you've got to learn to adapt to the way they play. And you've got to learn, like the players have got to learn for him. I agree with that. I don't think Arteta's brought him to come in and start every game. I don't think that.
But where do you think he needs to improve, Steve?
I think he needs to improve for the things that Garth said. Like his ball retention, he's holding up, and sometimes I think he does make the runs. He does know where to go for the runs, but I think he gets, because he's playing for Arsenal and people can't. He's not the be all and end all. He's not the focal point like he was at Sporting, where it was just whoever got the ball hit in. That's not Arsenal. If Saka or Odegaard or Martinelli or whoever, like Declan Rice, they get the ball, he's not the first fall. straight, and I think he gets a little bit frustrated when he makes the run. Like I've seen him, and I've seen him put his hand up in the air quite a few times, going, why didn't you pass the beat? Because you're not the first fault, mate. You've been brought to be part of the team, and if you've just got to run your nuts off for 90 minutes, yeah, if you've got to batter a few centre arse so that others can find space or move into space, and those behind you or those from last season are now going to step up a level because now you're at the club and you're a risk, then I'm happy with that. And that's the way that's why I see it at the moment. But I do agree that yeah. I mean, I'm not, you know me, kids. Believe me, I do slag off Arsenal. I do have a go at Arsenal when they
we
lose
just
the
do
league.
it on the group chat rather than online. Safe spaces.
Where it's needed. But that's where I am with it. I don't want to start saying about selling him and getting rid of him, because I don't think that's the way Arteta's thinking. I don't think that's what'll happen. Yeah, look, I mean, I just think I do agree with what Garth said with the things that he's not doing, and they have to improve. But he's doing something right. I'm not having it that he's played every game.
At his age, I don't think they improve. I don't think he's got the time to improve.
Well, only time will tell.
I was saying, like I said, end of next. I wasn't saying you sell him in the summer. Like I said, it's the end of next season, because once Havertz listen, in the year of PSR and every pound note counting, I don't think you can have in your squad a player who isn't doing enough. I personally, you were winning these games last year. You were scoring these sort of goals last year. You've already said your goals come from everywhere else on the pitch. I have to disagree with you, Steve. I don't believe that he was brought in for anything else other than to score goals. And I don't think that he's doing his job. I mean, he's a striker, of course he is. Like, that's what they're there for. Otherwise, they haven't done their scout idea on him then, Steve, because trust me, I looked deep into him. And if you're trying to tell me he was brought in to hold up the ball, muscle defenders off of it, he ain't that player. He isn't that player.
I'm telling you, he's.
That's why you do a 2-year deep dive.
Talking to me as if I've praised him and I've not told him he's got to learn.
I'm not. I'm just saying
to me as if I've said that he hasn't got to improve. I'm not saying that at all. He hasn't been. For us to get the best out of Victor Gyokeres, for Arsenal to get the better out of Victor Gyokeres, they would have to change their old style. That's a fact. No one's going to tell me any different. And anybody who's watched Arsenal a little bit over the years and not going to change the way that, look, we finished second, we've come so close to winning a title. They're not going to all of a sudden, because a 28-year-old comes in from Portugal, think, hold on a minute, he's got 30 goals. Let's rip it all up. Bullshit. That's not happening. He's got to just be part of a team. And I agree with Garth that the fact that there's certain things he's got to learn, right? Whether he learns those things is time will tell. You know, time will tell, because Zubimendi's come in, he's fitted in straight away. Yeah. And other players are coming. But we're talking about Gyokeres. I'd have more worry about Eze. That's the person.
We're going to Eze for a second. What I will say about Gyokeres, I think that the things that Garth is saying that he needs to improve on, for a 28-year-old, I don't see the improvements. What I do think he can improve on and needs to focus on is that box movement. That is. I think that's something you can. That's something you can pick up. Something you can say, Victor, you're doing. Look at this run you made here. You're moving there. You've just got to pull off him earlier. Be here for when if Saka's there. Be here. These are things that he can work on. Holding up the ball. That's a style of play. And he's 28.
Don't you think? Because
you can improve.
No, I'm saying he must be doing.
You can make improvements, but the level that we're talking about, the hold-up play that we're talking about.
Arteta would have stuck Trossard up front. No, don't worry about that. He would have stuck Trossard up front and put Martin Elliott. If he didn't think he was capable of doing what he wanted him to do, he'd be out. Arteta ain't got no messing. He's got no friends at Arsenal.
He ain't. He's ruthless. Which is why I agree with Garth. But I see next season, hopefully we see some improvement in Gyokeres, and I just don't see a long-term future for him after that. I think if there's an opportunity to cash in him in maybe the end of the next season, I think they probably will. I hope he scores some important goals towards the end of the season, because I just want everyone in this team to do something. And I think he's already played his part. Look, it's harsh to say for Garth. I would say it's harsh to say he hasn't played as much a part, because I know you didn't say that, but essentially,
No, I'm not watching. I'm not watching him like you boys. I'm not watching him like you boys. And I go, obviously, I've got stats in front of me, and they're on paper. It's not what I'm not seeing 90 minutes of the man. You boys are.
Yeah, he's had to go into a team where he wasn't meant to be the main man. It was meant to be Kai Havertz, and he was meant to be the understudy, and he's played his part in it. I just want to see a little bit more. And hopefully we see some important goals before the end of the season, and next season we see some improvement. So, he's not written off.
Yeah.
But another player who we definitely need to talk about is Eberechi Eze. I know I said that Ethan Nwaneri played well, and you said it's against Portsmouth. And my point was, well, I was going to jump in there, was Eze played in that same game and wasn't poor, but was underwhelming again. And
I said that.
For too long in the first half, he lets the game go by. And I know Crystal Palace fans warned us of this, but this is Portsmouth. Like, you've not played in 4 or 5 games. You've had mere minutes at the end of games recently. Yeah, this is a game where you just step up. You just do more. You just grab the game, want the ball, show for it, get shots off, and it's just I didn't see enough of it. I want to see more of it, because you see what he can do against Tottenham. I keep talking about the fact that as soon as he got that goal, it was a different Eze. His chest came out. He was putting tackles, interceptions. He's moving around the whole pitch. He was just a presence. Why can I not see more of that? You're against Portsmouth, my man. Do it against Portsmouth and say, look, I want my shirt back. I can play in different positions. I can come off the left when Trossard is not about. Like, I just want more from him, because he's a good player. And when he can produce those moments, like, they're quality. We saw it against City. We saw it against Newcastle. We've seen it against Tottenham. They're not scrubs, these teams, or Tottenham, yeah. But we've seen it against the other teams. But, yeah. Steve, thoughts on Eze?
Yeah, I mean, he's, again, you've said it all there. Do you know what I mean? He's not performed to how we thought he performed. I think, I mean, I'm just going to try and look at it why he hasn't performed first of all, because you sort of, harped on why he has in certain games, but I just think, again, I mean, is he someone who's finding it difficult? Is it someone who feels that maybe no matter what he does, he's not going to start anyway?
He can't get into that.
No, I know, but sometimes you get that. So look, when we've not had a squad this big before, so we're not really been used to this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So are you going to get the odd player who comes in and thinks, okay, 90% of them are just happy to be there and happy to win titles, but you will maybe get the odd 1 or 2 that are like, look, no matter what I'm going to do, no matter how well I play, I'm still not going to be looked upon as the main guy, am I? And is there a little bit of that in Eze? Because when he's on the pitch, it does seem a little bit that. Seems like to me he's not trying hard enough. Seems like he's not putting in enough effort. I see the little touches, I see the little turns, but when I see the others sort of like putting in 100%, he sort of always seems to be at 70, 80%, and that's frustrating. I'm not used to seeing that from Arsenal players. I'm used to everybody giving their all, and he gives it, and he shows a little bit of that. Look, the way Odegaard stepped up, he obviously is going to find it very difficult to get into that position, because Odegaard, on the form he's on, he's not going to be replacing him. And I think Arteta probably had ideas of bringing him and opening him eventually to be that left-sided player, which we spoke about at the end of the when the summer window was on. But I think with Trossard, the way he stepped up, maybe he got a little bit wind of that, because Trossard this season's doing the best I've ever seen him. He's incredible. He's just he's the left-sided player and he starts. So maybe Eze is bleeding a little bit down, but he can't be like that. He can't do that. He needs to pick himself up. He needs to be ready. And these games against Portsmouth in the cup, these are the times he's got to show and show us that he's ready. And the weekend he never, like you said, You know, even then where he came in, they were sort of floating around, sort of alternating in the same position, the pair of them. And then where he was the one who looked like he wanted to be, you know, in the mind of the managers for the next week or the week after weekend, and Eze. And that's the worry I've got with Eze, that he don't seem to be putting in the effort. And I'm not having that from any player. I love Eze. I think he's a really tasty player. We've seen it this season, but he needs to be putting in the effort every week, 100%. Whether it's against Liverpool, Man City, Portsmouth, or Wigan in the cup. And at the moment, he's not showing me that, and he needs to back up his ideas. We're talking about Goroki, 10 minutes ago. One thing that we can't, say about Goroki is that he doesn't not give 100% every single game. The guy runs his bollocks off. Eze doesn't do that.
Yeah,
it's
concerning. I don't know whether it's. I just feel like it's his style of play, but I need to see more tenacity and more dynamism from him. Like, it's not. We ain't that team. You can't. I feel like at Crystal Palace, you can get away with that in a couple of games. You do that. You do that. Arsenal, you're on the bench, and it happened. That's what happened to him. There's a couple of games he's really good, and a couple of games he let it pass him by. And the next thing you know, he was on the bench, and he was doing what Ødegaard was doing, which was coming as a sub for the last 20 minutes. And now you're not even coming as a sub for the last 20 minutes. The last time he started in the Premier League was when we conceded that goal, and it was where he was left sleeping at the back post. He didn't follow the track his man, and he scored at the back post. He was hooked at half time, and he's not started a Premier League game since. That tells you that he needs to work on his defensive and off the ball game. And it's not that he can't do it, because we saw it against Tottenham, and that's the thing that I think Mikel Arteta will see. We've seen you do it.
Is that a worry though, Kears? What you said?
That's a concern for me. That's a big concern.
We all know what happened in the summer with the Tottenham thing, didn't we? We all know what Thomas Frank said about Eze and who's Eze, although it was a little bit of banter and a joke, right? He probably went out there against Tottenham and thought, well, I'm going to show you. And then he decides to play then.
Yeah.
So you saying that's even doubly concerning for me.
It's a worry. It is a worry. What we were saying about Gyökeres is something I do actually see similar happen to Eze, because of, like, you see the difference in performance you saw with Yves Monieri. That's a kid who's hungry. That's a kid who wants his shirt back and feels that what he's seeing now, I should be getting more minutes. And for me, if I'm Eze, I'm looking at him like, ooh, maybe this wasn't the game to not turn it on and get a couple of goals and get a couple of assists and really put it on to show a showpiece. Because when Yeri come on and did that, I'd be worried. I'd be worried. Garth, you're just going to say something?
I said to you at the start of the season, I didn't understand why he was signing Eze. He ain't that good. Pure and simple. He has moments. He has moments. Yeah, well, Palace, isn't it? My missus and my father-in-law, big Palace fans, and he has moments. Do you know who he reminds me of? And you probably both scoff at this. He's a slightly better Jesse Lingard.
Say
again?
Someone said Emil Smith Rowe, where it was here and there.
He'll have moments like Jesse Lingard scored in the FA Cup final. Like, when he has his moment, yeah, he looks fantastic. But overall, I think he's very overhyped. Eberechi Eze. Always have done. I think you both remember me saying at the start, like, I don't get the hype around him. I really don't. I don't understand why Arsenal needed him when you've got Nwari there. I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. And it's sort of showing now. I don't think he's of the standard for what you're looking for. I think you're, like we all do with our players, I think you're holding on to those few moments that you've seen what he can do, but he can't do that on a regular basis. That's just his game. And he's another one, 27, 28. I don't think you're going to change that in him. Could be wrong. Maybe he'll find the hunger next season, or towards the end of this, we'll sort of half the season go. Maybe he'll find the hunger. Maybe he'll realise he's got to buck it up and really, like, storm it out. But
do you think it is that? Do you think it is the hunger? Do you think it's just a style of play? And, like, what do you think it is? Because you see him more on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's that. I think it's I don't think it's hunger per se. I think it's the style. I just don't think he suits what he is. He's a very picks up the ball, turns. You know, he was the main man at Arsenal. Palace. He was the main man. Everything went through him. He's another one like Cunha, where it's all right that he makes 2, 3, 4 mistakes a game at Palace, because he'll then go and score because he gets every single bit of the football at Palace.
And you've got people that are runners as well, probably.
Yeah, when you're doing it, when you're at Arsenal fighting on four fronts, you just ain't getting it. He's a quality squad player. If he's happy to fight for his place and be a rotation option, that's a great option.
Yeah.
Great option. But he was never better than what you had. And I do think a lot of Arsenal, not you boys, I think knew what it's about. A lot of Arsenal fans thought that you were getting an upgrade on what you already had, because there is this weird thing against Odegaard in a section of Arsenal fans.
I don't know.
Honestly,
he's nowhere near.
Honestly, do you know the most annoying thing? Odegaard played 4 excellent games. Like, we were like, oh my God, this is Odegaard scoring goals as well, getting assists.
I love Odegaard. Yeah.
Nothing was said. Odegaard had against Liverpool, but Rice the same and Zubimendi were both underwhelming in that game. The messages that I got in my comment section, Odegaard was poor. Odegaard was poor. So you've come back, you've waited, because you've seen the videos I've done on Odegaard. You waited until he had a bad game to say something, but you didn't mention anything about the 4 games that he played where he's looking back at his best.
Player in it. It's player say people. But yeah, listen, look, he's a great option, and to win big competitions, you need a big squad. And if you can keep him happy with, he's got a couple of goals, couple of assists. If you can keep him happy with 30 games a season, 15, 20 starts, 10, 15 off the bench, you know what I mean? Then you've got a quality option in your squad. There's no two ways about it. Yeah. But he's never close. He's never close to a first teamer in that Arsenal team. You know what I mean? In my mind, he's third choice. So he's third choice in his position.
Yeah. I mean, are we looking at this differently? I mean, we're looking at the players that we bought in the summer. Gorikis, Eze, Madueke, who's been probably the best out of the 3 of them.
Yeah,
but he's had his moments of where he could have done better. Has Arteta bought these players a squad? I know it's a lot of money, but when you look at it, I mean, where Arsenal finished last season, we know that injuries hit us hard. We know what happened the 2 seasons before that. If you're Mikel Arteta and he's sitting there and he's thinking, right, he's obviously looks at it and think, I still think that my 11 that I've already got can win the league. But what I need is for them to get better. What I need them to do is to up a level. So to up a level and to strengthen the squad, I need to bring in 3 or 4 players, right, who people will go, oh, yeah, if I don't, lift up my level, and not only that, then they can come in. And Garth said about Eze being a decent squad player. I mean, having Eze, Madueke, and Gorikis as sitting on the bench waiting there, and if you're like a rival team and you're looking at that and you're thinking, you're knackered after 70, 60 minutes, you see Eze, Gorikis, and Madueke warming up, you're like, oh, but do you know what I mean? And there's the fear factor, and that's where you get the name of the fear factor. So maybe Arteta, maybe we're looking at this differently. Maybe we should be looking at them as just as squad players.
I think there was method to the madness of buying players that are slightly more experienced, slightly older. And I understand what Garth is saying in terms of you don't need him, but I think you've got to remember last season we missed an Odegaard who was come back from injury and was not up to the level that was needed. So I think they've looked at that and thought, do we risk having another season with a developing Monieri if Odegaard is injured again? Yeah. Or do we bring in a ready-made player now who in the Premier League can do the business and they can slot into Odegaard's position, which is why I think you saw the start of the season with Odegaard injured 3 times, freak injuries, that Eze started. And he played his part. He's got 9 goal contributions in 26 games. The goals, there's been important ones as well. This isn't like
that ain't even bad numbers, actually. That ain't bad numbers. Sorry, yeah.
And when you look at them, it's not like a 2 here and yes, you got the hat against Tottenham, but there was a last minute one against Newcastle. There was a last minute one against Man City to push back to equalise. Like, these are important things. What I just want from him is more of what we've seen of the good stuff on a more regular basis, more consistency. And the other day, I think he had like a 6 game, but it was a 6 game which I can handle. It's a 6 where you're not the main thing, you're not doing anything, but you're keeping things ticking over. You're still working. I can accept them ones. Yeah. What I can't accept is I'm seeing the ball getting from left to right, and you're standing there. I can't accept that. I need more movement from you. I need you to be a part of it. Don't watch it around you. So, and that's
so maybe it's just a bit of an overcorrection because like I say it's not bad play. I just don't think like I saw. Like I say, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans think he should play instead of Odegaard, which is mental.
He's a squaddy at Arsenal.
Yeah, but that's a dangerous game to play when you're spending that sort of money and those sort of wages on players because then you can't move them on because of their wages. And like, trust me, as a Man United fan, I've seen this. We've done it for 12 years. You can't move them on and you lose a lot of money on them. And now, in the era of PSR, that now means it affects what you're bringing in the summer. So I think that we'd all have expected more from these players, but you're doing fantastic. So it doesn't really matter. What happens is, and listen, I'm not going to jinx anything, but I think you're going to do very well coming into the season. But if you don't, then who are we questioning? You've spent all of this money. You've got the squad. You've got the manager. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do you turn?
This squad at the end of the day. That's how it works.
And that's when you start having to trim down the players. You're like, do you know what? That one didn't work out. This one didn't, and you have to just move them on just to keep that rotation of players coming in to make you get to the next step. I don't think it's going to be. I
agree with what he said. I agree with what he said. But when you look at when you look at it, you know, and the reason why Arteta, you know, wanted to strengthen the squad and bring players in certain areas because of injuries, which is what he's obviously wanted to do. You know, unbelievably, at the beginning of this season, straight away, Havertz out for the rest of hasn't played a game yet. Odegaard out for the majority. Yeah. So the two players that we've been speaking about today, Yorikis and Eze, are the ones that are playing their positions and have taken their place. And you couldn't ask for more, could you? You're top of the league and the top of the Champions League.
Yeah.
So it's like we're trying to sort of like.
But also, you've got players who aren't getting minutes who, in reality, should be over these players. You know, I mean, not called Chris because you haven't had a striker, but I've had this conversation with Keir for a while this season. Yeah. I think Ethan Nwaneri must be sitting there being like, "Hold up a minute." Like I think it's a very different situation with Nwaneri than most players his age. He got so many minutes last season, and now his progression as a first-team player has completely stalled. I'm not saying he's got worse; he hasn't, but his actual minutes on the pitch because you brought in a player for 65 million who's definitely getting in front of you, and he ain't bringing as much to the table as you are. And that's when this is what I would say to you: when you have massive squads, when you have massive squads. I know that you like again. We had this conversation at the start of the season where it's like, no, Arteta will keep them all happy. You can't keep them all happy. You've got to win. And you've got to be winning. And you've also you've got to be generous with players and say and be truthful with them and be like, you ain't getting the minutes this year. Here are your two options. Do you know what I mean? You can play 20, or we can send you out on loan because you are not getting these minutes, mate. You know what I mean? Like,
but I know for a fact
to play.
Yeah, I know for a fact that Nwaneri don't want to go out on loan.
No, I don't want to go out on loan. I'd rather not. That's
what you want to see from people. That's exactly what you want to see from players.
Nwaneri wants to stay at Arsenal. I've been told this. Nwaneri wants to stay at Arsenal.
Beautiful, but he needs to get them minutes.
Yeah, no, but he doesn't. But he's been told. He's been told what his situation is. Now, whether he all of a sudden gets minutes second half of the season,
we'll see. Be a worry for me in that player. If he's happy to just sit on the bench week in, week out, that's a worry for me.
I think.
But at that age, he's not.
I've already caveated that. It's very different.
Look, Garth does make a point.
At that age, he's not. I don't want to see Nwaneri starting every week.
No.
Now, I don't want to see it. I don't. And if that means him sitting on the bench for the next 80% of the season, then he's got to accept it. He's still only young. He's not. For me, he's not ready to sit in that position as a title charge for the next 35 games of the season, Champions League. No.
But more minutes. More minutes. I think he will get more minutes.
Like coming on at the end if we're winning.
I saw him yesterday.
Your Champions League game.
He's bigger as well. He's grown.
I'm not saying it's very hard. It's a very hard act to keep everyone happy when you've got a squad that size. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that anything's wrong. I'm not saying I don't think you needed Eze because I think you've got a big enough squad. I know you had bad injuries last season. I think Eze was an overcorrection. I really do.
What I would say is what we've got to remember. The top of the conversation before the start of the season was if if Mikel Arteta does not win anything, he gets a sack.
Yeah.
Now, look, Steve,
fair.
I'm not saying he would have got the sack. We know he ain't going nowhere. We know he ain't
He
going
ain't
nowhere.
I expect
We
with
know
everybody on the
going
planet, he ain't going nowhere.
But it will be a spicy summer if he doesn't win anything, yeah. Because people will be on it from all different directions, and mostly probably rival fans, which is crazy. So there's a lot of pressure. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
So on our situation, the last piece, and you with that what you said, and it's true, that will get a bit spicy. If Odegaard looks injured, you've got to be mad if you think you want Nwaneri to take place. I'm sorry.
And that's what I'm saying.
I love Nwaneri, but you've got to be off your rock.
But
you've got to be off your rocker.
I think last season.
I think there was no other option behind that, Garth. And we was talking about when you're saying too much. When Nwaneri, has played too many games or he's out of form, the backup option to that was no one.
Yeah, but this season, in my mind, you've got Marino, Trossard can play there. Like this is what I'm saying. Like I don't, I get it 100%. And again, it's coming from a place of jealousy for most rival fans because we haven't got a squad that can even like your B team's better than our first team. You know what I mean, right? So, but all I mean is it's very difficult to keep everyone happy. It's 100%. Very difficult to make sure everyone gets their minutes. And I feel for Ethan Nwaneri because I think that he hasn't got anywhere near what he should be getting minutes-wise this season. And I don't think that Eze was a necessary sign. But I get you saying, like, you're right. Arteta's probably looking at it like, if they're letting me buy these players, like, every manager wants as many players as they can get at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
To win trophies this year, and if if the excuse is the same situation as last season, where Odegaard gets an injury, you've got to play Nwaneri, and his form drops, and you've got no other option, and it doesn't work. You're done for.
If I'm a young player, like just say for instance, I'm leaving Nwaneri and Bournemouth come in, which they have done, and they want to loan you, and I'm Arteta. I go up to Nwaneri and he says to me, Bournemouth want you to go on loan this season in January. If you want to go, you're going to go, but it's up to you. If I'm in Nwaneri, I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
I want to stay here. I want to stay. Even if I don't play a game for the rest of the season, I want to feel what this is like.
I did say that to you,
Garth, in a private chat. Sometimes that can be worth more than actually playing. To be around that,
even on the cusp of the England squad, it's a World Cup year. I don't know. Obviously, we've got different viewpoints on this. For me, someone who's played that many minutes last season, I would want to play as many minutes as I possibly could in the Premier League. But that's what I mean. For me, if a player's saying no, I want to stay here and just hope to get minutes. I don't, but again, it's different mentalities, different strokes, different folks. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't vibe with me. That one, it really doesn't.
If you're 18 years, if I can ask you both a question, then it's just interesting. You're both an 18-year-old. You're both playing for Arsenal. You're both in this situation now. You're offered to go out on loan, so you're going away from this, right? Do you go on loan?
Well, yeah, so I just said I would personally, but you keep missing the big point of how many minutes he played last season. This isn't just normal way.
Yeah. So with all that taken in consideration,
I would personally.
Okay. And
me.
Would you stay or would you go out on loan?
I ain't going nowhere. I'm you know what? I'm knocking on the manager's door, like, boss, give me a cup.
Of course you are. You're right in that sense.
Play me against Chelsea. Play me against Inter Milan.
I want to play.
Play me against Inter Milan.
You're that player on Champ, not on your door.
I'm not the moody one. I'm
you're sitting there.
I'm Joker in the crew. So you can't hate me. You can't be angry at me. So, but come on, boss. How you get?
I'm right. You know what? I'm debating this with you like it's a problem. These are the biggest first world problems for a football club. Oh my God! Nwaneri, one of the best youngsters I've seen in a decade, ain't getting no minutes. Oh my days, Gorga is your third choice.
Miles Lewis Skelly is starting to drop off a little bit.
We're waiting for next week. This is a longer conversation.
Miles Lewis Skelly has dropped off because of the people in front of him, and he can't handle it.
But that's one of them as well. I think we do have a habit in this country, all fans of their clubs, of seeing a youngster being like, he's the best thing I've seen in 25 years.
Too much. See the video
Yeah,
today.
and then the next season, you're like, do you know what? He does have some flaws, actually. Like,
Yeah, it's funny enough.
it's almost like he's 18. Yeah, it's almost like he's 18. Quite
Exactly.
like, so, yeah.
Exactly.
But
And I
yeah,
think
listen,
that's what
you boys should be fine, I.
We saw it. We saw it of Saliba as well, where they learn their trade. They're starting to learn. They get comfortable. They try different things. If things don't work, and then we see mistakes happen. It's just part of the development.
You said like where Ranieri knocks on the Arteta's door and he's going, "Oh, come on, mate, give me a game." I wouldn't be surprised if that's the type of atmosphere at Arsenal at the moment, because it does. You do get that feel that it's a family and they all get on and everybody's sort of like working for each other. You do get that. You've seen the training. You see the way they.
Yeah, I see the train. I was privileged to train the other day.
Anyway,
of Saka and Arteta's moving him about, just moving him about. And I remember Kente does the same thing as well. He's very hands-on. This is why he's him.
Yes, if they were in a technical area, or if they were in a technical area of managers, Arteta and Ince would be on the pitch, literally moving flags.
Red, stop! What, Saka? Why did you do this? Come on! But next time, wait.
But Garth's right. So we're talking about like the negative things
nothing
about
problems,
Arsenal, but like
issues. You know what I mean?
These ain't really problems, are they?
Let's support Man United for a week. You'll see some issues. You'll see some problems.
I don't need to go through that. This is why I've got the crow's feet. This is why I'm aging. You know what I mean? I took my acting years from early 30s to know you're acting your age now. So
I think they'll get their minutes. I think they'll all get their minutes. For me personally, I think. You look at someone like Saliba, who went out on loan, come back, is a better player for it. I just think, for just in that case and where it may, I'd take the loan. But I get it, because you could end the season. I mean, you're still in all four, aren't you? Yeah. So I mean, I get where you both are coming from in that one. You know, I'm saying again, I ain't going to jinx nothing for you boys. I ain't that sort of dude. So, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
He'll get his start against Wigan anyway, won't he? And he'll play.
I need to get him up. But before we're going to skip on the Chelsea stuff. Steve, we'll move straight on to the transfers because we've done like a nearly hour and a half show already. Steve, give us the latest transfer news going on at the moment for all the clubs worldwide. What have you got for us?
Starting with A, Beckett and Stanley.
So with the second division Brazilian league.
Arianas going out on loan to Atkinson Stanley. $1 million loan fee for the rest of the season. No, look, I mean, I said to you before, right at the beginning of the show, that it is a slow burn at the moment. There's not a lot going on. I mean, the biggest bit of news probably in the last few hours is that Tottenham has signed Conor Gallagher from Atletico Madrid. They've hijacked Aston Villa.
I wasn't even watching.
How much?
I nearly €40 million.
Oh, it's bought as well.
Oh, he's got.
He ain't happy. 40 million. Oh, and you bought Ugarte.
Euro, mate. Euro as well. Euro.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's 30 something mil for Conor Gallagher. I would have took him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He's just a solidly good midfielder. He's a solid good. And do you know what? And Steve, you'll probably laugh and say, "Listen, he probably ain't better than Scott McTominay." And I didn't want Scott McTominay at Man United, but that was then. This is now. We're 18 months down the line. You know. Yeah. Like,
Scott McTominay. Yeah, you know what you're saying, Steve. He's all right, you know. 1 in 10. Scored 1 in 10.
I still want Scott McTominay back. I wouldn't. But they're similar players. They're similar players. That's a great sign for Spurs, lads. That's a great sign for Spurs. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
32
Why would you want to go Spurs? Is the first thing I thought. Why the hell would you want to go Spurs?
I think from what I read, Conor Gallagher, he weren't happy. Weirdly, he wasn't happy in Madrid, and he was desperate to come back to England. Apparently. So
but he could have gone West Ham. West Ham had agreed a deal with Atletico Madrid. It was all like agreed with. It was all.
But that's Championship football next year, mate. Like he's playing in the Championship next year.
West Ham's team is awful.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, Spurs or West Ham. Listen, I think Spurs are a joke, but West Ham are a joke
I
at the
would not be
moment.
going.
So.
I would not be going to West Ham. No
No,
way. They've
stay
they've
well away from them.
I'd say Tottenham have got a bang average squad. West Ham's is way below average, and they deserve everything they get. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But the West Ham, way,
Oh,
Sack and
people
David.
listening.
I checked out the other day.
Oh, of course, I forgot your family, Steve. Sorry.
The season after, they won the Conference League. He finished 8th. He finished 8th with West Ham, and they wanted him gone.
But they weren't playing the West Ham way here. They weren't playing the West Ham way, mate.
Absolute jokers. Absolute jokers.
Great. Absolutely fantastic signing for Spurs. I mean, for me, like, he isn't a player that turns your season around, but he's a player that comes in and stabilises. That's what I wanted at Man United. It stabilises your club. You know what you're getting from him. He ain't dinking balls from 60 yards over the back line. He ain't scoring screamers from 40, but good solid passer, good solid tackler, all round solid centre midfielder. So yeah, fair play to him. Fuming.
So that's probably the biggest one. Obviously, a bit of news about Alonso. We spoke about that earlier, and Carrick. Luis Paqueta, West Ham. He's leaving. He's going to join Jorginho at Flamingo.
Yeah, Luis Paqueta was linked to Man City a season ago.
Yeah, now he's at he's doing personal terms with Flamenco. So he returned to Brazil. Not fully done yet, but.
No, but he was blatantly spot fixing, weren't he? I don't know if you looked into that one, but it's so blatant what he was doing. It was incredible. And even after he got back from his ban, West Ham fans put something up the other day. Were like, "Hold on a minute, is he still doing it? Like, why has he got a card here for no reason?" So that's what he got out of Brazil. You know what I mean?
And also, we've talked a lot about Arsenal tonight, but Arsenal, as you probably saw a couple of days ago, I mean, I've looked into it a little bit since. Serious interest from Arsenal from Mark Guy. David Ornstein broke the news a couple of days ago. I've been trying to find out a few things since then. And from what I heard, this is something that possibly could even happen in January.
Well, I presume it would happen in January, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? If he was getting silly move for Gay, if you ask me, great move for Arsenal. Great move for Arsenal. But it's silly from
Man City need him, Chelsea need him, and I see those two clubs that he'd likely go to. They're two good clubs at the end of the day. They're in good places. So I think it makes more sense.
Is there somewhere that Liverpool pulled out now? Liverpool now looking elsewhere, or he's
they're back for that Scalvini, ain't they? Whatever it is, the Italian centre back.
So looking again. It's between Arsenal and Man City.
For 20 mil, it's a great signing for Arsenal. But I couldn't understand personally why he would do that, because he ain't ever getting past Gabriel or Saliba into that team. You know what I mean? And personally, I don't think he can't play right for left back. Yes, but fair play. That'd be great. Another good signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones that Arteta always talks about when opportunities arise. You know, Arsenal will be there, and I think this is one of them. You know, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Really, someone of his ilk, a good player like him. Obviously, I dare say he does like this thing, Arteta, of getting players who are all from a club. So I guess the Guy thing might be a little thing in that. But it makes sense for Arsenal. It does make sense because
as an option alternative for Gabriel, is it?
Exactly. Because Miles Lewis-Skelly is someone who we know that Arteta sees as more as a midfield player as time goes on to the future. We've got Calafiori and Nketiah now, who seem to be the two that fight it out for the left back position every week, and that opens a space up for someone to slot in. To team up with Gabriel, so leaves a space open. And if you can get him in the summer, for instance, you know, then you're getting him for a freebie. It's an absolute no-brainer, isn't it? And if Guy can, and it's funny, you know, straight away where I was talking to people, especially today, you know, we was talking about when he played against Arsenal in the Carabao, he scored and he didn't celebrate. Straight after, he was talking freely to the Arsenal England boys and putting the old hand over the face, and they're laughing and joking and stuff. And you thought, what's going on there? What's all that about? Why didn't he celebrate and all that? So, you put two and two together, and you can see David Ornstein's exclusive. then yeah, you feel that this is something that could be on the cards.
Yeah, even 20 mil in January is a great sign because the other thing we get, like, you could literally flip him for 50 next year. And I know, listen, I know people don't like talking about it like that, but that with the era that we're in, where every pound note counts, it's a great signing however you look at it because he's only 25, isn't he? 26, Gay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got a full 6 years of him being worth money as well. So yeah, I mean, I can't see the only thing I can see is why Gay would want to go and be second fiddle when he could go anywhere else at the moment and be a first team player. I know Arsenal are ripping up, but yeah, but again, that just shows how far you've come from 5 years ago. And on that note, in a circular fashion, Man United fans, take notes. Sorry.
He ain't won nothing, Arteta, yet. He's won nothing.
Not yet. Mertesacker leads his post as head of development at Arsenal after 8 years in charge, which has seen some excellent talent come through, the likes of Ethan Wanyeri, Marcel Skelly, Max Dowman, Florent Balogun. The list goes on.
Aiden Heaven.
Marnie Salmon, who's just made his debut, the youngest player to play in the Champions League last week, and played his debut. Played in the FA Cup the other day. Looks.
You know you're getting young when you see 81 on his back or whatever number, 80 something on his back. You're like, cool, that is a proper youngster. That is, isn't it? You know what I mean?
You know you're old when you're seeing kids come through, and it's like birthday 2005.
Yeah, don't, bruv. Don't.
What?
I say it to Kirsty a lot, my missus a lot, because on Champ, when you've got the editor, you can put yourself in it. And I still remember the time where I had to make myself older so I could be 16 to play in the first team. Now I'm having to like take my age back like 24 years. Hold on a minute, what's going? Nah.
Yeah, we're no longer young managers anymore.
Amrim's younger than us, isn't he? Amrim's younger than us. Is that someone any good? I don't know anything about him. I was going to ask you that, funny enough.
Really
completely. What position is he?
Strong challenge when he first came on as well against Portsmouth. Really good player. Really good.
Yeah, what position?
It's why they weren't overly upset about losing Heaven. Because
I just said that right forever.
They had him come through.
And I said this to Kier, Arsenal fans, just so you know, Heaven's been doing all right, but don't listen to the absolute hyperbole from Man United fans like he's a Rio Ferdinand regen. He's done all right. He looks decent.
Right. He's looking good.
Yeah, 1.5 mil is a skilled, but he's still a 19-year-old centre back, and they make mistakes. They make mistakes. Yeah.
And before we go, let's have a look at the FA Cup draw. We have Liverpool, Barnsley. Liverpool currently 3-1 up against Barnsley. It's probably finished against Brighton and Hove Albion. Stoke versus Fulham. Oxford United versus Sunderland. Southampton versus Leicester City. Wrexham, who beat Nottingham Forest. Former Arsenal Hale End boy Arthur Akwanku saving the penalty for Wrexham. They will play Ipswich. Arsenal versus Everton. Ethan Wanyeri gets a start in that, surely. Hull versus Chelsea. That is Liam Rossini going up against his old club. That should be a good one. Burton versus West Ham. Burnley versus Mansfield Town. Norwich City versus West Bromwich Albion. Port Vale versus Bristol City. Grimsby Town take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. The Grimsby Town who knocked out Manchester United of the Carabao Cup. Aston Villa versus Newcastle United. Manchester City.
Just a tiny scarf. A bit harsh scarf, wasn't it?
Manchester City. Representing Manchester. That would be a good one. Manchester City versus Salford City, taking Manchester Man United's spot.
Yeah, Salford need to beat Swindon then, because that'd be a great game for Salford City. That will be. Yeah, fair play. That will be.
And do you know what? It'd be packed at Man City as well. Absolutely packed. Macclesfield take on Brentford. Hopefully we see another giant killing. And Birmingham City take on Leeds. That should be a good one as well. Where do you see the upset, Steve?
I don't know. I don't see. I mean, Stoke and Fulham. I mean, could be an upset there. Stoke, very difficult ground to go to. So, yeah, I think they fancy themselves against Fulham. We got Sunderland against Oxford. Well, it should be pretty standard for Sunderland. Chelsea got old. That's a bit Liam Senior's old club, isn't it? So
yeah.
that's a bit of a coincidence there. The way West Ham are playing.
That's the one I've got, Steve. Yeah, that's the one I've got. I've got Hull versus Chelsea
Yeah.
as the possible, but Burton West Ham, that's the one to look out for the upset. The way West Ham are playing at the moment.
So,
and just so Man United fans don't feel left out, it's Man United versus Burnley in the Women's FA Cup on the 18th of January. So make sure you tune into that, people. You know what I mean?
Burnley, good team. Good team, Burnley.
Yeah.
All right.
The big one's the Aston Villa Newcastle one, isn't it? That's the one for the telly, isn't it? To sit back on.
Yeah.
Do you know what? There's not that many like marquee games for once, is there? That big FA Cup game there. Like there's the little teams versus the big teams. But there's not the Villa Newcastle. You're right. That's the one, isn't it? That is the one. Liverpool.
Brentford are a Premier League team, but it's away at Macclesfield Town. I don't think they want to do that one, but I think if Salford can get past Swindon, I think that'd be nice to get that on TV. The Man City versus Salford City.
I can't. I don't like it when the big teams absolutely wipe the floor of a little team.
No, but you've got to remember
the
big teams, the little teams going to the big teams, or the big teams going to the little teams. It secures their future for a good few years.
Oh yeah, definitely in that.
They get to invest in players. They've not got to worry about their club going under. People not paying stuff.
Salford would make more money going to the Etihad because of how big the stadium is, and they'll get the percentage of that gate. So and it's class of 92 in it, Salford City. So I know they're smashing out last year, Steve. I know what you're saying, but obviously Man City was it Exeter 10-1? Oof. But I'm sure Exeter would have taken that 10-1 beating for the 4.5 mil they've just made off that game. You know what I mean? Keeps them afloat for a couple of years. And off the FA Cup,
maybe not the goalkeeper. Maybe he probably.
He certainly didn't get a bonus that week. That much is for sure. You know, I mean, there's no bonus in his
needs after that.
Liverpool and Brighton could be. Brighton could turn Liverpool over.
I mean, this Liverpool team is quite exposed this season. Anyone that plays in the low block, as Arnie Slot,
they smashed up Barnsley, didn't they? 4-1 in the end.
Yeah.
I don't think even Barnsley could have enough of a low block to stop Liverpool. You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Once you get the feeling, once this round's over with, again, it looks like most of the teams are going to be left to the big boys, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not going to be a smaller club in that final, I don't think, this year. I think we're going to see.
Someone put down earlier on that it was who do you think is going to win the FA Cup? I know who's going to win it. I've got a strange feeling it's going to be an Arsenal Man City final. I'm going to put. I'm going to put a pound note on that tonight. I'm going to put a pound note on that. I don't know who's going to win it, but I've got a strange feeling if you two don't get drawn against each other before then, I just don't see anyone else strong enough to get maybe a lucky Liverpool team get
it. It's one of them. Who's got the strongest team? Who's got the strongest squad? Who can put out the strongest squad? Yeah. And if you look at Arsenal's team against Portsmouth, that's still a solid starting lineup against the bottom of the league.
Yeah, wasn't it?
A very, very strong team. All right, that is all we have time for. Thank you for joining us tonight, Garth.
Pleasure as always. Nice therapy session for me, so thank you. Thank you for listening. You know, that's all I need sometimes. I need people to listen. You know what I mean? We listen and we don't judge. You know what I mean? That's what I like to see from you boys. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
We all know that doesn't never went down. You know, so that trend stopped because people come out with some gnarly shit.
We've been there, mate. We've been there. We've been down in the dungeons. We've been in the doldrums. You know, we know what it's like. It's not good. Funny.
Right. No.
Man United have already got fans fighting each other. Do you know what I mean? So you're nearly over the worst bit. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Good. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Make sure you go and follow Steve on Twitter. Make sure you go and join Steve on Twitter, where you can get the latest transfer news on there as well. If you are on TikTok, make sure you go and follow the Transfer Exchange Show and Kieran AFC, the latest on all football and Arsenal, of course. And yeah, I mean,
If you like seeing Muppets get called out as well, definitely follow Kieran AFC.
yeah, I got
because
called out the other day, didn't I? You see that one?
I mean, you call him
Oh,
Muppets.
mate.
but it's a joy.
Liverpool
It's a
fan.
joy to
I see
watch.
that.
They ain't ready. They ain't ready for it. Like
He
it might
thought
seem nice. It might seem nicey here, but trust me, like you want some verbal evisceration. The man's
Honestly,
there for
I
it.
don't
So.
think people understand. This brain is just constantly ticking over. I'm an overthinker, so when I do a video, I get every single angle of attack covered. Yeah, so you can come after me, but I don't think you're going to get much from it. Just gives me more content when I have to do a reply. Yeah, I do appreciate that. Yeah, go and follow both of them. So actually, go and follow both of them. I'm saying you can't do it. Yeah, it's free. All right, we come here every week, every Monday, 8 o'clock. Press that subscribe button, press that like, press that retweet, and press that share button. All right, that's all we ask for. It's all free. All right. Thank you for joining us, people. Peace out. Stay safe. This every time now, and wash your hands.